Holla holla, it's your boy George Billionaire on Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat on Hustle Hard. It's so good to be here again, and this time I'm not in the studio. I'm away on work. The weather, as always, has not been behaving, and we are out and we are making sure that people around Zimbabwe are staying cool. Therefore, I can't be in the studio today. But definitely, as always, we never make an excuse not to give out this very critical information, which always I say and I will repeat, especially for those who are listening to us for the very first time. Our core mandate on this show is to deliberately provoke, inspire, and equip individuals so that they can actually see that there is a better way of doing things. There's a better life. And the most important thing that we're trying to empower people is that this success is an inside job. And the first place that success begins to happen is when you have a different, changed, positive mindset that looks at things differently from everybody else. Now, the number one hindrance for people making it in life is a four-letter word called fear. And fear, abbreviated as we've said all the time, is false evidence appearing real. And that has held so many people from being what they want to be. And so many people listening today have never accomplished certain things because they constantly have lived a life full of fear. There's a false evidence appearing real in your mind, which has hindered you from starting that side hustle, opening that business, doing that thing that will definitely take care of you better than your job. But because you are so full of fear, it has hindered you and you have stayed in a not so good place called the comfort zone. And the comfort zone, ladies and gentlemen listening to me all over the world, is a place where nothing at all grows. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. Absolutely nothing. You will live your life hand to mouth, but you will never ever see the life that others who decided to do what everybody else is not doing did. And now they are living a financially free life. They are not waiting for month end to get paid. They are living in abundance. They can do what majority of people are not able to do just because they deliberately knocked on that door of fear, broke it down, and walked in confidently. Some without full knowledge of what's behind that door. But like I always say, behind the doors of your greatest fears lie your greatest treasures. Today, ladies and gentlemen, our topic, very simple and to the point. You're going to realize and have a self-retrospect of why you are where you are today. And I can guarantee you, this is the major reason why you have become the individual that you are today. It's because of this one thing. I look at my life today and I see that it is a sum total result of this thing that we're going to talk about today, which has led me to being the person, the mindset that I have, and to have established and achieved so much in my life because of this deliberate thing. Our topic today, you become what you surround yourself with. Energies are contagious. Now, just by hearing that, if you look at your associates, people who you talk to, people who you hang around with, people who you say are your key people around you, those people that surround your life, your sphere of influence, directly determine where you end up. Now, your mindset of the collective people you hang around with, however many they are, indirectly determines the person you become. Now, when you think about this, energies are contagious. Human beings are contagious because if you hang around with people who are always going to parties, they get their salary, the first thing they do is consume, consume, consume. There's no investment at all. All they do is they go out, watch soccer parties, go buy hair, the latest devices. Because those people are like that, most likely you too yourself are going to become an individual who is influenced by those type of people. I can tell you many years ago when I began the journey with Pro Air conditioning and I chose to go the route of becoming an entrepreneur, I deliberately began to hang out with similar minded people who are entrepreneurs because the conversations with people who have a job, like I say, people who are just over broke, the conversations differ because they have a mentality to feel like they only deserve to get money at the end of the month. Whereas with entrepreneurs, they are opportunistics. They are people who see opportunities and they seize those opportunities. But whereas somebody who is employed, they are like a horse which has blinders, which only makes them think, see, and believe that the one stream of income will take care of them for many years to come until they are old aged, and they have a belief that their pension will sustain them for years to come. But we've soon realized that a thing called a pension is not something that will take care of you and the current lifestyle you are living. Now, some of you who are privileged to have company cars, medical aid paid for, you have fees being paid for by your companies, you have a lot of benefits that I can mention, some a lot. And when you begin to realize the day that letter comes, that phone call comes, a rude awakening will come about. And you find that the people you associated with were only people of the same level as yourself, which is why you never thought of going the road less traveled or doing something else with your additional income that you were getting at the time that you were still employed. The moment you begin to hang out with positive minded, entrepreneurship minded people, people who are doing something, sooner than later, you too yourself will, whether you like it or not, be influenced to begin to think like that. You will now have disposable income, but now you will also start thinking, hey, I need to also have a side hustle so that the next time we have a conversation like this, I can have an input. With majority of you listening, the only input you can make is at the end of the month, because that's when your paycheck comes in. But other than that, there's no other stream of income that you can actually contribute to conversations with people who are doing other things. And this is why I said you totally become what you surround yourself with. And truly, energies are contagious because those people carry a certain energy. Now, when I began, I remember Dr. Edgar Chandiwana, Dr. Stephen Magoles, Dr. Philip Chiangwa, Pastor Victor Kambasha, Zodwa Mkandla, Prophet Hubert Angel. A lot of people, to mention a few, spoke to me as the way they saw me, and they spoke highly of how at their age they were people who associated with people bigger than them, which is what forced them to level up and begin to believe in themselves. And they said to me, I keep saying this, the potential you carry can only be hindered by the associations you have. And I've said this so many times. When you hang around with egos and you're a chicken, there's a certain ability in you that will program and change your mind to begin to see yourself as an ego and actually begin to do what egos do until you actually then become exactly like the people who you looked up to. And this is the same thing with our lives today. I am a person who is a sum total result of the specific individuals, multiple of them that I deliberately chose to hang out with, that have led me now to become a household name in air conditioning with Pro Air, doing work all over the country because people I hung around with deliberately influenced me to say, you know what, you can do all things, and all you need to do is to believe. You must believe you can. Yes, you can, no matter what people have said. Believe. The greatest secret to getting ahead, like I always tell everybody, is to get started. Sometimes you may not know exactly what you are doing, but the key thing is to keep walking. And as you begin to walk that journey, you learn across the journey of life. And it's important that you fail. But with the people you hang around with, they help you to nurture you to become a better individual. And similar to all these names and many more who have mentored me, they deliberately changed my mindset. And I am a sum total result of all the energies I hang around with that has caused me to be the man I am. Now, when you do a personal self-retrospect, kumbozvitarisa pauri iwewe nhasi kuti vanhu vaunoti shamwari dzako ndedzipi, you will get a rude awakening to say, I think I'm hanging around with people who are always murmuring, complaining, like I always say, blaming the government, politics, blaming everybody else. Yet there are others in the same economy who are not blaming anybody, but are deliberately associating with key people that will help them to break through, have a positive outlook to things, and actually become financially free, stable, and have many streams of income. But to majority of people, your network, like we've always heard, determines your net worth. What is your network of people? Who are the people that you can say, these people provoke me? I know to everybody listening, you say, hey, George Billionaire every Monday on Hustle Hard, he's that person who I can say I hang out with. That's great. But in your personal space, as you go on your day, your week, your month, I've said this before and hear this clearly. Whoever you give your ear to, you give your heart to. So if you are hanging around with negative-minded people who have no ambition, who have no dream, who are trying to belittle your dreams, you will become exactly like them. You will become like broiler chickens who are in one place, they are clucking, and they are living an ordinary life. Or you can become like the eagles who do not have a fixed abode, who can do anything at any time they want because they are daring, they are fearless. They are people who only hang out with similar-minded people. And this is one thing that a lot of you listening today has hindered your progress. The people you are hanging around with are not propelling you. They are choking the life out of your dreams, your visions, and all it is that you want to achieve. As you go on this week, do a self-analysis of people that you need to hang around with and do a deliberate plan to disassociate from all those other people who are not progressively helping you to become the person that God purposed you to be. I've said this once and I'll say it again. God's plan and intent for everybody who's hearing this is never for you to be average. It's never for you just to be okay. But God's plan for everybody is for you to become the best version. God created us all winners. God knew there was a product, a service, a solution, a business. You are going to employ many thousands of people and change the outlook of the earth. That's why God sent you. He knew he was going to send George in the air conditioning sector and start Pro Air so he can make the weather behave. in people's cars, homes, offices. He knew he was going to send you listening today to be a change in whatever industry. But as long as you are full of fear and you are reliant on that one stream of income and you keep hanging around with the same similar minded people, I can guarantee you nothing is going to change in your life, and you are going to become the same person that you are today. And we are going to need a tombstone to remember you, because that's the only thing that you did. You came to this planet to be ordinary. But remember, all things on this planet have a thing called a process, and sometimes we don't like to go through the process. Some of you listening today have overstayed some of your workplaces and you have kept on giving excuses. You suffer from that horrible disease called excusatitis, because all you ever do is you hang around with similar minded people who are only employed, and you don't get to see the other side, that wait a minute, there are opportunities in countries where you are which have many problems where you can actually provide those solutions. Some of you have overstayed your work of employment, to be very true. Some of you have really overstayed, but there's so much potential. Many people have come and spoken to you to say you can do this, that, and the other, but you have shunned it off because of fear. And because of your fear, it's going to hold you back. And when you grow old, you're going to be like those who now begin to say, I wish I had started. I wish I did this before I got that letter of termination. I wish I could have. But you know, in the Shona saying, Dai kufunga kwebenzi, and you do not want to wait until it's too late for management to change, for politics to change, for things to change, and they don't need you anymore. And then this message becomes a reality and real life. This is something for you to think about. Energies are contagious. Make it a deliberate choice to only hang around with those that have a lot to do with your future and not your past. Hang around with people who provoke you, who inspire you, who equip you, who challenge you, who put wood in your fire, who push you to become better, who take you deliberately out of your comfort zone, who tell you the truth, and who you also begin to want to be like, instead of hanging around the naysayers, people who've been at the same place and tell you, hey, it's better to be safe. But trust you me, on this planet, many things can change. We've seen it with bills being signed and people being unemployed. We've seen it with so many things changing with AI and people's jobs going. Don't wait until it's too long. Hey, it's your boy, George Billionaire. Have an awesome, amazing day. For those who want to join the GB Mentorship Masterclass, get in touch with me on 0712 840 840, or follow the GB Mentorship on Instagram, and follow me on all social media platforms, George Billionaire Monengwa. God bless you. Remember, in every single thing that you do, always put Elohim, the Most High God, first. God bless you. Have an awesome, amazing